Chosen one, stop what you are doing. Do not move past this. Do not let your mind argue yet. Heaven interrupted your path because something is being transferred, and the people who remember your old season will not know how to believe it. This did not reach you by accident. This is not a random message. This is not another voice in the noise. Something in your spirit has been sensing a shift for days, but every time you tried to believe it, an old family voice rose up and made you question yourself. They still remember your struggle. They remember the times you had to ask for help. They remember the version of you that was tired, uncertain, and trying to explain a calling that had not produced visible proof yet. But heaven does not build your future from their memory. Listen closely. Your family may not believe this wealth transfer is real, because they are still measuring you by a season that has already expired. They are looking at the ashes, but heaven is looking at the oil. They are looking at delay, but heaven is looking at preparation. You have felt this in your chest. You have felt it late at night. You have felt it when everyone else was sleeping, and your eyes opened between 3 and 4 in the morning for no clear reason. Something inside you knew your life was being rearranged. You tried to call it stress. You tried to call it overthinking. You tried to call it hope, because you were afraid to call it a sign. But deep down, you knew this was not normal emotion, because it carried a strange peace and a strange urgency at the same time. There were moments when money looked blocked, doors looked closed, people looked silent. Nothing in the natural world seemed to confirm what your spirit was hearing, yet you still felt as if heaven was whispering, "Get ready, this is not over." And then the old voices came. Maybe they came through actual words. Maybe they came through facial expressions. Maybe they came through the silence of people who never took your dream seriously, and somehow their silence felt louder than a direct insult. They made you feel small. They made you feel late. They made you feel foolish for believing that God could still do something unusual with your life. And because they were family, their doubt did not feel like ordinary doubt. It felt like a verdict. But it was not a verdict. It was a test. Heaven allowed their disbelief to reveal the place where you were still asking for permission. You did not need them to curse you. You only needed them to not believe you, and suddenly your own faith began shrinking. That is why this message had to find you now. Not tomorrow, not after you get proof, not after the transfer appears in a bank account, a contract, a door, a phone call, or a divine connection. You needed this before the evidence came, because when heaven funds something, the world often questions it first. The world says, "Where did this come from?" Family says, "How did that happen to you?" Enemies say, "That cannot be real." But heaven says, "I prepared this while they were laughing." Your time to shine is not about showing off. It is not about humiliating anyone. It is not about proving that you were better than them. It is about heaven making public what he was building in private, while people misread your silence. You have been hidden. You have been processed. You have been stripped of the need to impress people who could not recognize your oil. And every time you felt overlooked, heaven was teaching you how to receive without begging for applause. This wealth transfer is not only money. Hear that clearly. It includes money, but it is not limited to money. It is access. It is timing. It is favor. It is restored clarity. It is the right person remembering your name at the right moment. It is a door opening without you forcing it. It is a burden lifting without you explaining it. It is a call, a letter, an opportunity, an idea, a shift in your mind, and a divine arrangement that suddenly makes the years of delay start making sense. Your family may not believe it because they did not see the nights. They did not see the prayers you whispered when your confidence was almost gone. They did not see how many times you wanted to quit, but something invisible held you together. They saw your pauses. Heaven saw your endurance. They saw your lack. Heaven saw your training. They saw your mistakes. Heaven saw your repentance. They saw your waiting season, but heaven saw the exact moment when your name would be called forward. Chosen one, this is why your spirit has been restless. You are not just tired, you are being moved from one level of receiving to another. Your old capacity could not carry what heaven is now preparing to release into your life. There are blessings that would have crushed the old version of you. There are doors that would have fed your insecurity instead of your purpose. There are financial openings that would have made you run back to the same people who never protected your spirit. So heaven waited. Not because he forgot you. Not because he changed his mind. Not because your family was right about you. Heaven waited because the vessel had to be strengthened before the transfer could be trusted to land. You have been in a strange school. The lessons were not announced. The classroom looked like rejection. The assignments looked like delay. And the exams came through people close enough to wound you, but not powerful enough to stop you. That is why some of you had to lose comfort. Some of you had to lose approval. Some of you had to lose the habit of explaining your heart to people who were committed to misunderstanding your assignment. It was painful, but it was precise. Heaven was separating your identity from their reaction. Heaven was separating your obedience from their applause. Heaven was separating your future from the emotional debt you kept paying to people who only accepted you when you stayed familiar. This is where the transfer begins. It begins when you stop needing old eyes to approve a new season. It begins when you stop shrinking your prayers so they do not sound too big around people who made peace with small living. You are not wrong for sensing increase. You are not arrogant for expecting provision. You are not delusional for believing that heaven can fund what no one in your family had the courage to imagine. You are not crazy. You are being positioned. And yes, there is a reason the word wealth keeps pressing on your spirit. It is not greed. It is not vanity. It is not a fantasy. For many of you, wealth is connected to assignment because your family line needs a cycle breaker, not another silent survivor. You were not born to repeat the same lack. You were not born to inherit the same fear. You were not born to watch every generation pray for escape while secretly training the next generation to expect bondage. Something stops with you. That is why the pressure has been so intense. The enemy does not panic over empty people. Darkness does not work overtime against someone who carries nothing. The resistance around your finances, your confidence, and your calling has been evidence of weight. But do not misunderstand this. The enemy is not stronger than heaven. Your family doubt is not stronger than heaven. Your current bank balance is not stronger than heaven. Your past mistakes are not stronger than heaven. The funding source is not earthly. Heaven funded it. That means heaven knows how to route it. Heaven knows who must remember you. Heaven knows which door must open. Heaven knows which delay must break. Heaven knows which person must say yes after everyone else said nothing. You do not need to chase what heaven assigned. You need alignment. You need discernment. You need the courage to stop rejecting the very thing your spirit has been praying for. Because sometimes the blessing does not feel impossible because it is far away. Sometimes it feels impossible because it is finally close. That nearness scares you. It makes old wounds speak. It makes old family comments replay. It makes you wonder if you are ready to become the person you once begged heaven to let you become. And this is the hidden wound. You can believe for other people. You can encourage friends. You can pray for strangers. You can celebrate someone else getting a breakthrough. But when heaven starts moving toward you, something inside whispers, "Not me." That whisper did not begin with you. It was planted through patterns. It was planted when your excitement was mocked. It was planted when your sensitivity was called weakness. It was planted when your big vision was treated like childish imagination. But heaven is uprooting it now, not gently enough for your comfort, but lovingly enough for your destiny. This message is pulling out the voice that trained you to expect disappointment right when heaven is preparing evidence. You have seen signs. You may have seen 777. You may have seen 444. You may have heard a phrase more than once in one day. You may have felt sudden peace about a problem that still had no visible solution. Those were not empty coincidences. They were confirmations. They were small lights along the path, not the full destination. Heaven was not teasing you. Heaven was teaching your spirit to recognize guidance before the natural world could explain it. And now your assignment is simple. Do not hand this moment back to fear. Do not take this word and run it through the court of family opinion. Do not ask people who benefit from your smallness to confirm the season that requires your expansion. Some of them will not believe until they see it. Some of them will see it and still explain it away. Some of them will call it luck. Some of them will call it coincidence. Some of them will act as if they always knew you had something special. Let them. Your job is not to manage their reaction. Your job is to steward the transfer. Your job is to remain humble without becoming hidden. Your job is to shine without becoming prideful. Your job is to receive without apologizing. Say this within yourself right now. I am allowed to receive what heaven funded. I am allowed to outgrow the version they understood. I am allowed to be blessed without getting permission from people who only believed my pain. There is a sacred difference between revenge and vindication. Revenge tries to hurt them. Vindication lets heaven answer without you becoming bitter. Revenge makes you loud. Vindication makes you steady. And what is coming for you requires steadiness. This is why the next part matters. Because your family disbelief is not the real center of the battle. It is only the surface. Underneath it, heaven is dealing with the identity that was formed while you were waiting, hurting, and wondering if you were forgotten. If you can feel this, do not ignore it. If your chest feels warm, do not dismiss it. If your spirit feels awake, stay with this message. The transfer has layers, and the first layer is not in your wallet. It is in your identity. Before wealth appears around you, heaven must restore the receiver within you. Before doors open publicly, heaven must close the old courtroom in your mind. Before your family witnesses the fruit, you must stop kneeling before their disbelief. Comment 777 if your spirit knows this is confirmation. Comment, I receive what heaven funded, if you are done shrinking your faith to fit the room you came from. Let your words become agreement, not performance. But do not leave yet, because the next truth will explain why the people closest to you may be the last to believe what heaven is doing through you. And once you understand that, their disbelief will no longer have power over your next step. The people closest to you may be the last to believe, because they are closest to the version heaven already finished using. They saw the struggle up close. They heard the uncertainty in your voice. They watched you survive seasons that did not look glorious. And now, their memory is fighting your prophecy. But do not confuse their memory with truth. Memory can be sincere and still be limited. Your family may love you and still not understand you, because love does not always give someone spiritual sight. Sometimes the people who held you as a child cannot recognize the authority that heaven placed on the adult version of you. This is why you must stop asking familiar eyes to interpret a divine upgrade. They know your patterns, they know your failures, they know the times you started and stopped. But heaven knows the part of you that kept saying yes when nobody clapped, and that part is the one being called forward now. Chosen one. Your family is not the final witness. Heaven is. Their disbelief cannot cancel a transfer that heaven already funded. Their questions cannot close a door that God already opened. Their hesitation cannot block a season that was written before they had language to describe you. And here is the deeper truth. They may not believe because they were never assigned to believe first. Some people are assigned to see the fruit, not the root. They will see the harvest, but they were not invited into the secret place where heaven planted the seed. That is why you felt so alone. You were being developed in a place they could not enter. You were praying through things they could not feel. You were breaking agreements they never knew existed. And while they thought you were just being quiet, heaven was rewriting your capacity to receive. I will name something early, because this message is not built on suspense. There is a sound-based tool called the Genius Song, and I will explain it more fully later. For now, only understand the reason it matters to this message. Many chosen ones are not blocked because heaven refuses them. They are blocked because pressure, delay, family wounds, and mental noise have worn down the clarity they were born with. The Genius song was created as a 7-minute audio that helps restore gamma clarity through brain entrainment, so the mind can return to focus, intuition, and flow. Do not treat that as a sales moment. Treat it as a seed. If your spirit recognizes that a physical anchor may be part of your next step, the door is placed below this message. But stay here first. You need the revelation before you touch the tool, because the tool is not the center. Your identity is. The sound does not make you chosen. It helps awaken what delay tried to bury. Heaven is not asking you to chase a product. Heaven is asking you to stop living from the fog that made you doubt your own assignment. Now return to the wound. Family disbelief is powerful because it touches the earliest rooms of your heart. It reaches the place where you first wanted to be seen. It reaches the part of you that still hopes they will say, "We understand now. We were wrong about you." But some apologies may arrive late. Some may never arrive. Some people will benefit from your rise and still refuse to honor your process. If your healing depends on their recognition, you will keep handing them the keys to a season they did not build. That season is over. You are not waiting for them to notice. You are not waiting for them to agree. You are not waiting for them to understand the language heaven uses with you. You are learning to receive while their questions are still unanswered. This is not rebellion, this is maturity. Rebellion says, "I will prove them wrong because I hate them." Maturity says, "I will obey heaven even if they misunderstand me." That difference matters because the transfer coming to you cannot be carried by bitterness. Bitterness leaks blessing. Pride distorts purpose. Anger can make you loud, but it cannot make you aligned. Heaven is not raising you so you can shame the people who doubted you. Heaven is raising you so the cycle of lack stops speaking through your bloodline. Your family may have carried fear around money. They may have carried survival thinking. They may have learned to call smallness, wisdom, and caution obedience. So when you speak about increase, they hear danger, because no one taught them how to hear abundance without panic. This does not make them evil, it makes them limited. It means they were shaped by rooms you are being called to leave. If you keep shrinking to make them comfortable, you will turn their ceiling into your altar, and heaven did not anoint you for that. You are the interruption. You are the one who feels the discomfort first. You are the one who sees a bigger life before there is proof. You are the one who cannot make peace with lack, even when everyone around you calls it normal. That ache is not greed, it is assignment. It is the cry of a spirit that knows your family line was never supposed to end in repeated debt, silent fear, and generations of people apologizing for wanting more than survival. Hear this clearly. The wealth transfer is not heaven rewarding ego, it is heaven trusting stewardship. It is heaven placing resources, access, and clarity into hands that have been trained by rejection, so those hands do not become careless when increase finally comes. That is why your training felt unfair. You watched other people receive faster. You watched doors open for people who did not pray like you prayed. You watched families celebrate things in others that they questioned in you, and it cut deeper than you admitted. Yet heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was measuring your capacity. Could you remain soft without becoming weak? Could you remain generous without being used? Could you keep believing when no one in your own house knew how to bless your future? These were not small tests, they were transfer tests. Money is not the only thing being moved. Authority is being moved. Discernment is being moved. Timing is being moved. The right to break an old pattern is being moved into your hands. And before heaven transfers more, heaven removes the false need for approval. Because if you receive wealth while still addicted to family validation, you will spend the blessing trying to buy the acceptance you never received. Heaven loves you too much for that. So he hid you. He let the silence stretch. He let the old labels expire. He let people think you were behind because he was removing the hunger to perform. You thought delay was punishment, but delay was detox from applause. Now you can receive differently. You can receive without begging. You can receive without explaining. You can receive without posting every sign to convince someone. You can receive with clean hands, a quiet spirit, and a heart that knows who funded it. This is why the phrase, "your time to shine," is not shallow. It is not about attention. It is not about becoming the loudest person in the room. It means heaven is moving you from hidden formation into visible fruit, and the fruit will speak where words failed. You tried words, you tried explanations, you tried proving your heart. You tried being useful, agreeable, patient, and forgiving, hoping that one day they would finally see the weight of what you carried. But heaven is ending the season of over-explaining. The next season will not require a speech. It will require obedience. It will require you to move when heaven says move. It will require you to stop checking the faces of people who never learned how to celebrate what they could not control. Some of them will be confused. Let them be confused. Some of them will question your access. Let them question. Some of them will say, "You changed." Let them say it. You did change, because heaven did not bring you through fire so you could smell like fear. You are not the same receiver anymore. You are not the same thinker anymore. You are not the same wounded child trying to earn a place at the table. You are becoming the table for someone else, and that is why the preparation was so severe. Think of Joseph. His brothers saw a dreamer. Heaven saw a governor. His family saw arrogance. Heaven saw assignment. They placed him in a pit, but heaven used the pit as a corridor, because divine transfer often begins in places that look like loss. Think of David. His own household did not place him in the lineup first. They thought the kingly choice had to look more impressive. But oil does not follow human ranking, and heaven can call the overlooked one from the field while everyone else is still posing. Think of Esther. Her rise did not make sense to the people watching from the outside. It looked too sudden. It looked too unlikely. But heaven had hidden her in preparation, because a whole people would one day need the courage she gained in secret. Do you see the pattern? Family recognition is not always part of the beginning. Sometimes heaven hides the evidence until obedience has matured. Sometimes the people who should have affirmed you become the pressure that teaches you to hear God for yourself. That is what happened to you. The silence taught you. The rejection trained you. The lack refined you. The nights you cried without witnesses strengthened the receiver inside you, and now the version they doubted is not the version heaven is about to reveal. This is why you must not resent them. Resentment ties you to the very room heaven is calling you out of. Forgive them without shrinking for them. Love them without letting them lead you. Honor them where you can, but do not hand them the steering wheel of your destiny. Because this wealth transfer will require spiritual sobriety. You cannot be intoxicated by praise. You cannot be shattered by criticism. You cannot let one supportive comment lift you and one doubtful glance destroy you. Heaven is teaching you balance before increase, and that balance begins now. Breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let the old courtroom in your mind grow quiet. You do not have to argue with every memory. You do not have to defend every promise. Heaven is not asking you to win a family debate. Heaven is asking you to agree with what he said before they had an opinion. Heaven is asking you to stand in the identity that existed before rejection trained you to lower your voice. Heaven is asking you to receive without apology. So when they cannot believe it, do not panic. When they ask how it happened, do not become arrogant. When they say it came out of nowhere, remember that it came out of obedience, tears, patience, correction, hidden discipline, and divine timing. Nothing about you was wasted. Not the years, not the detours, not the closed doors, not the moments when you felt embarrassed by how long it was taking. Heaven used all of it to build a receiver who could carry transfer without being destroyed by it. And now, Scripture will show you the pattern more deeply. Because every person who carried a major transfer from heaven had to survive a season where familiar people misread them. Stay with this. because the next layer will show you why disbelief came before evidence. Now, look at the pattern. Heaven rarely announces a transfer to the people who are most familiar with the receiver. Heaven often hides the receiver first. He lets the room misread them. He lets the family underestimate them. Then he reveals what was being formed in secret. Joseph did not look like a storehouse when he was thrown into the pit. He looked abandoned. He looked betrayed. He looked like the dream had collapsed, and anyone watching from the outside could have said his brothers were right about him. But the pit was not the end. The pit was a corridor. The betrayal did not cancel the dream. It moved him toward the place where the dream would need to be fulfilled, because heaven can use even the hands that reject you to push you into position. His family saw a young man with visions. Heaven saw a future governor. His brothers saw someone who needed to be silenced. Heaven saw someone who would one day hold grain during famine and distribute provision when the same family needed help. Do you see it? The wealth transfer in Joseph's life did not begin with gold. It began with a dream. It began with rejection. It began with a season where his own family could not believe what heaven had shown him. That is your pattern. You keep asking why they did not understand. Joseph could have asked the same thing. You keep asking why your closest people treated your promise like a problem. Joseph could have asked that too. But heaven was not asking his brothers to approve the dream. Heaven was asking Joseph to survive the process without surrendering the dream. That is the difference. Your family may not believe your transfer, but belief from them was never the foundation. The foundation is obedience, endurance, and the word heaven placed over you. Now think of David. His own household did not line him up first. When the prophet came, the family looked at the obvious candidates. They looked at height. They looked at presence. They looked at what seemed impressive to human eyes. But oil does not follow human ranking. Oil follows divine selection. David was called from the field, from a place of labor, from a place where no one was clapping for him. And heaven revealed that the overlooked one was carrying a kingly assignment. This is why your hidden season matters. You may feel like the field has lasted too long. You may feel like everyone else was brought forward while you were left with private labor, quiet battles, and responsibilities no one celebrated. But the field was not rejection. The field was formation. The field taught David how to fight before the palace ever saw him. The field trained his hands, his courage, his hearing, and his dependence on God when no audience was present. That is what happened to you. You were trained where no one could reward you. You were corrected where no one could praise you. You were strengthened in boring obedience, because the next door cannot be carried by someone addicted to being noticed. Your time to shine will not feel like performance. It will feel like recognition from heaven. It will feel like oil finally becoming visible. It will feel like the season catching up to what your spirit knew before your family had language for it. And then there is Esther. Her transfer was not loud at first. It was hidden behind preparation. It was wrapped in timing. It did not make sense to everyone outside the process, because heaven was not only preparing beauty, he was preparing courage. Esther was not lifted for luxury. She was positioned for deliverance. That is important. Heaven does not raise chosen ones only so they can feel special. He raises them because somebody else will need what their process produced. Your wealth transfer is connected to more than comfort. It is connected to deliverance. It is connected to family patterns. It is connected to children watching what you normalize. It is connected to people who will need proof that God can still lift someone from a rejected place. So do not reduce this to money. Money may be part of it. Provision may be part of it. A new door may be part of it. But the deeper transfer is authority, discernment, confidence, and the power to carry resources without becoming controlled by them. That is why the enemy attacked your mind. He knew that if he could cloud your thinking, he could make you miss the door. If he could keep you exhausted, he could make you ignore the invitation. If he could keep you ashamed, he could make you reject increase. This is where the spiritual pattern meets the mind. When you are under constant pressure, your thoughts scatter, your focus breaks, your intuition feels buried under noise, and even when heaven places something near you, you may not have the clarity to recognize it. You have felt that. You sit down to think, but your mind jumps everywhere. You try to pray, but your attention drifts. You try to plan, but fog covers the next step, and soon you start calling yourself lazy when you are actually overloaded. That overload has cost you more than peace. It has cost you timing. It has cost you confidence. It has cost you bold decisions. It has made you question signs that were real and delay steps that your spirit already knew were correct. Science has language for part of this. Researchers speak about brainwave states, focus, flow, attention, and the high clarity connected with gamma activity. Spiritual people may call it discernment, but the experience is familiar to every chosen one. It is that sharp inner knowing. It is the moment when the noise drops and the answer becomes clear. It is the sudden alignment where an idea, a prayer, a memory, and an opportunity all seem to meet in one place at one time. Dr. Robert Lake studied the brain for 34 years. Research circles have explored brainwave activity through institutions like MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading universities. And while science may use different words, the pattern still points to something chosen ones have felt for years. You were born with more sensitivity than most people knew how to handle. You noticed patterns early. You felt rooms shift. You sensed motives before people confessed them. You could learn quickly, imagine deeply, and connect dots that other people missed. Then life began pressing on you. School systems, family pressure, survival stress, disappointment, betrayal, and constant worry slowly trained your mind to live guarded. The clarity that once felt natural became harder to reach, and the gift began to feel like a burden. This does not mean the gift disappeared. It means it was buried. It means the channel became noisy. It means the receiver was still there, but static was covering the signal. And you started thinking heaven had stopped speaking when you were only exhausted. That is why this message is so precise. Heaven is not only restoring money around you. Heaven is restoring the receiver within you. Heaven is restoring the part of your mind that can recognize provision before fear talks you out of it. Joseph needed clarity in Pharaoh's court. David needed clarity before Goliath. Esther needed clarity before speaking to the king. Every transfer required a moment where fear could not be allowed to lead, because one clouded decision could have delayed an entire assignment. So when you feel the weight of your next step, do not call it anxiety too quickly. Sometimes it is the pressure of transition. Sometimes it is your spirit sensing that a door is opening, but your old mind is trying to interpret new access through old fear. You are not meant to enter this season scattered. You are not meant to receive while mentally divided. You are not meant to carry a heaven-funded transfer while still rehearsing every voice that said you would never become anything. That is the real warfare. Not just people, not just bills, not just closed doors. The battle is over the state from which you receive. If you receive from fear, you will sabotage. If you receive from shame, you will hide. If you receive from clarity, you will steward. Stay with me here. This is where many chosen ones lose momentum. They believe the promise, but they do not prepare the receiver. They pray for the door, but they keep the same fog. They ask for increase, but they keep agreeing with a mind trained by lack. Heaven is merciful, but heaven is also wise. He will not place a heavy assignment into a vessel that still believes every insult spoken over it. He will restore the vessel first. He will clean the inner room. He will quiet the noise before the transfer becomes visible. This is why your current season has felt like both waiting and awakening. One part of you is tired. Another part of you is becoming alert. One part of you is grieving what did not happen earlier. Another part of you knows something is arriving now. And yes, this is why signs have been increasing. The repeated numbers, the sudden dreams, the strange confirmations. the person you randomly thought about, then heard from, the phrase that keeps appearing in messages, songs, sermons, and private thoughts. Heaven is training your attention. Heaven is teaching you to recognize guidance. Heaven is sharpening the inner ear that got dulled by disappointment, because the next transfer will require you to notice details that others will overlook. Your family may not understand that. They may call it coincidence. They may call it emotion. They may tell you to be realistic. But remember, realism without revelation would have left Joseph in the pit, David in the field, and Esther silent in the palace. You are not rejecting wisdom. You are rejecting limitation disguised as wisdom. Real wisdom does not mock faith. Real wisdom does not demand that you shrink. Real wisdom teaches you to test the spirit, move with timing, and obey without panic. There is a financial doorway connected to your clarity. There is an opportunity connected to your discernment. There is a person, a place, a decision, or an idea that requires your mind to be awake enough to recognize it when it comes. This is why you cannot keep living distracted. You cannot keep letting family doubt occupy the best room in your mind. You cannot keep giving old comments permission to echo louder than the quiet instruction heaven is trying to give you now. In a few moments, I will return to the sound-based protocol I mentioned earlier. I will explain why restoring gamma clarity matters for the chosen one who is stepping into a season of transfer, timing, and unusual favor. But before that, you must understand the deeper blocker. The transfer is not waiting because heaven lacks resources. It is not waiting because your family failed to believe. It is not waiting because the economy has more authority than God. It is waiting at the edge of an old agreement. The agreement that says, I cannot receive until they understand. The agreement that says, I cannot rise until they approve. The agreement that says, I must stay familiar so I do not lose their love. That agreement is breaking. It is breaking while you listen. It is breaking in the place where their voice used to sit above your own spirit. It is breaking because heaven is showing you that approval is not the same as permission. You do not need permission to obey. You do not need permission to be restored. You do not need permission to be funded by heaven. You do not need permission to become the one who carries a different future for the family line. So breathe. Let this sink in. Joseph had a family that misread him. David had a family that overlooked him. Esther had a process that hid her. Yet every one of them became evidence that heaven can prepare a receiver before anyone believes the transfer is real. Now, the next part will confront the hidden agreement directly. It will touch the place you may not want to look at, but stay with it. Because once this agreement breaks, family disbelief will stop being a ceiling, and your next yes will become much easier. Chosen one. Now we touch the agreement. Not the obvious one. Not the one your family speaks out loud. I am talking about the hidden agreement inside you, the one that says you cannot fully receive until the people who doubted you finally understand. That agreement has been expensive. It has cost you peace. It has cost you boldness. It has made you slow down at the edge of open doors, because part of you still looked back to see if familiar faces were approving your next step. But heaven is breaking that pattern now. The transfer is not waiting for your family to believe. It is waiting for you to stop using their disbelief as a ceiling. Their doubt may explain your pain, but it does not have authority over your provision. You were never called to shrink the promise until it looked believable to wounded people. You were never called to make heaven sound reasonable to minds trained by lack. You were called to obey, receive, steward, and let the fruit speak when words are no longer useful. This is the confrontation. You have prayed for open doors, but you keep carrying closed room thinking. You have asked for increase, but you still feel guilty when increase comes near. You have asked for wealth transfer, but part of you still expects rejection to follow blessing. That is why your body reacts when good news gets close. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts searching for what could go wrong. You imagine the comments. You imagine the questions. You imagine someone saying, "Who do you think you are?" Heaven is answering that question now. You are the chosen one who survived the season that was designed to make you forget your name. You are the receiver heaven kept alive. You are the one chosen to break a pattern that did not begin with you. Say this quietly within yourself. I do not need old eyes to approve a new transfer. I do not need small minds to explain a heaven-funded door. I do not need family disbelief to become my inner law. The wealth transfer is not only coming to your hands, it is coming to your identity. It is coming to the place where shame made you feel unworthy of abundance. Heaven is not funding your ego. Heaven is funding your assignment. That ends now. You are not buying acceptance. You are not performing success. You are not using provision as revenge. You are becoming stable enough to receive without needing applause, and strong enough to give without returning to bondage. Earlier, I named a sound-based tool called the Genius Song. I did not name it to distract you. I named it because this message is about receiving clearly, and many chosen ones are not blocked by laziness. They are blocked by fog. The Genius Song is a 7-minute digital audio created to help restore gamma clarity through brain entrainment. You listen with headphones. You do not need a complicated ritual. You simply allow the sound to help guide the mind back toward focus, intuition, and flow. Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscience researcher with 34 years of experience, developed this audio around the brainwave state, often connected with heightened clarity. Research around brainwave activity has been explored through MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading universities. In chosen one language, the Genius Song does not make you chosen. It helps quiet the static around the gift that delay, pressure, and family wounds tried to bury. It supports the receiver within you, so you can recognize what heaven is placing near you. That matters now, because a transfer requires recognition. A door can open and still be missed by a distracted mind. A person can be sent and still be ignored by a wounded spirit. A divine idea can arrive and still be dismissed as impossible. More than 18,366 people have used the Genius Song. And the most important signal is not only that number. The stronger signal is that under 4% requested refunds, meaning over 96% continued beyond the guarantee window. A meditation app can cost around $15 every month. A growth course can cost $100 to $200. One therapy session may cost around $150, and a retreat can cost $400 to $800. Some professional brain training can cost around $300 for one session, yet most of those paths are not created to target gamma clarity directly. The Genius Song was originally valued at $49, but for viewers of this message, access is $39 one time. Not a monthly burden, not a shipping charge. It is delivered digitally, so you can begin when you are ready. And with it come 4 gifts meant to support the same awakening, with $80 in total bonus value included. Genius Child is valued at $19. Classic Book is valued at $20. Guided Visualization is valued at $29. 5 Habit Infographic is valued at $12. Each one supports the main tool from a different angle. And there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you use it and decide it is not for you, you can request a refund. No conditions. No need to return a digital file. And even then, you keep all 4 bonuses as respect for the time you gave it. There is also something important I must say. Do not search for random copies. There are counterfeit versions, imitation audios, and ordinary sounds using similar names. They do not carry the same brain entrainment design, and they do not include the same bonuses or guarantee. The right path is the link placed in the description and the pinned comment of this video. Not Amazon, not YouTube copies, not Spotify searches, not random pages. If this is speaking to you, use only the door connected to this message. Now pause. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe once, slowly. This is not about deciding if $39 is worth it. This is about asking whether you are ready to stop living beneath the identity your family understood. If your spirit says yes, the door is below. If your spirit recognizes the anchor, step through with peace. Not pressure, not panic. Peace. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. For the one who knows this message was not random. But even before you touch any tool, receive this truth. You are not waiting for family permission. You are not waiting for a courtroom of relatives to vote on your future. You are not waiting for wounded people to validate a heaven-funded assignment. The agreement is broken. The ceiling is removed. The old voice is losing authority. You can love them without obeying their fear. You can honor them without inheriting their limits. You can rise without turning your healing into revenge. This is your time to shine, but not with noise. Shine with steadiness. Shine with wisdom. Shine with provision that carries purpose. Shine with the quiet confidence of someone who knows heaven did not ask them to approve what heaven already funded. Do not leave yet. The transfer must be sealed. What heaven funds must be agreed with by your own mouth. In the next part, you will speak over your identity, your family line, your provision, and the new season that can no longer be ruled by disbelief. Chosen one, place your hand over your heart. Let the noise settle. Let the old voices become small. This is not a performance. This is agreement. Heaven has been speaking over your life, and now your own mouth must stop repeating the verdict of people who never saw your full assignment. Breathe slowly. Your family may not believe yet. They may not understand the transfer. They may not know how to name what heaven is doing in you. But their unbelief does not have to become your language, because your next season requires your own agreement more than their applause. Say this within yourself first. I release the need to be understood before I obey. I release the need to be applauded before I receive. I release the old fear that blessing will make people reject me, and I receive the courage to be lifted without apology. You are not betraying anyone by rising. You are not dishonoring your family by breaking a cycle. You are not becoming prideful because provision finally finds you. You are allowing heaven to answer years of hidden obedience in a way that cannot be explained by luck. This is your time to shine. Not with arrogance, not with revenge, not with noise. Shine with humility that has backbone. Shine with peace that cannot be manipulated. Shine with a steady spirit that knows wealth is not your master, but a tool placed under assignment. Now hear this clearly. Your turn does not require their permission. Your turn does not require their prediction. Your turn does not require a family meeting, a perfect explanation, or a vote from people who only understand what already happened. The next season is not asking them to believe first. It is asking you to stop doubting last. It is asking you to stop being the final person in the room who denies what heaven has been trying to confirm again and again. Say this slowly. I agree with heaven over my life. I agree with divine timing. I agree with restored clarity. I agree with open doors. I agree with provision that carries purpose, and I refuse to call myself unworthy of what God has prepared. The old version of you learned to survive by staying acceptable. The new version of you must learn to steward by staying obedient. You can carry it because heaven has been training you in hidden rooms, private tests, quiet corrections, and moments no one rewarded. Speak this over your mind. My mind is not a prison. My clarity is returning. My thoughts are becoming aligned. I will not live in the fog of old words, old fear, and old shame. I receive the wisdom to recognize the door when it opens. Speak this over your hands. My hands are clean. My hands are ready. My hands will not waste what heaven releases. My hands will bless, build, restore, and protect. I will not use provision as revenge, and I will not use humility as an excuse to hide. Speak this over your family line. The cycle of lack stops losing power through me. The fear of increase stops losing power through me. The voice that told us to stay small stops losing power through me. A new pattern begins with my obedience. That is why you cannot return to the old agreement. You cannot leave this message and shrink again because someone made a face. You cannot make your next step smaller because someone asked a doubtful question. You cannot let familiar fear rename divine instruction. If they say it is too much, remain steady. If they say you changed, remain peaceful. If they say they do not understand, remain kind. You do not need to become harsh to be free, and you do not need to become small to be loving. Heaven is teaching you a holy balance. You can honor people without obeying their limits. You can forgive people without giving them control. You can love your family deeply and still refuse to let their disbelief become the border of your future. You are available for obedience. You are available for clarity. You are available for wise provision. You are available for doors that require courage. You are available for a wealth transfer that carries purpose, order, humility, and divine instruction. Say this with authority. I am not the family mistake. I am not the delayed one. I am not the forgotten one. I am not the almost one. I am the one heaven preserved, prepared, corrected, strengthened, and positioned for this exact season. Say it again in your spirit. I receive what heaven funded. I receive without shame. I receive without arrogance. I receive without begging for approval. I receive with clean hands, a sober mind, a guarded heart, and a spirit that knows where the source is. This is why the transfer will not look the way they expect. It may come through a conversation. It may come through a decision. It may come through an idea that suddenly becomes clear, or a person who remembers your name at the exact right moment. It may come through a door you thought was closed. It may come through a hidden skill. It may come through courage that rises in you without warning. But however it comes, do not dishonor it by calling it coincidence. Now, if you know this message was for you, comment "My time to shine." Let it be a public agreement, not a performance. Let it be a marker that you are no longer shrinking your faith to fit the room you came from. And if your spirit recognized the sound-based anchor I named earlier, the link is still placed in the description and in the pinned comment. Use it only if you know you are ready to protect this new clarity and move into your next season with steadiness. Do not move from pressure, move from peace. Do not move from panic, move from recognition. Do not move because a voice persuaded you. Move because something deep inside you knows heaven has been preparing this exact step. Now speak this final declaration. I bless my family, but I do not inherit their ceiling. I honor where I came from, but I do not remain bound to its fear. I forgive what hurt me, and I receive what heaven is sending. I will not weaponize my blessing. I will not hide my blessing. I will not apologize for fruit that came from obedience. I will steward wealth with wisdom, favor with humility, and open doors with discernment. The old season is released. The old courtroom is dismissed. The old accusation is silenced. The old shame is removed. The old fear is broken. The old ceiling is no longer my home. And now I receive the new season. I receive clarity. I receive provision. I receive courage. I receive divine timing. I receive the strength to walk through doors that once would have frightened the wounded version of me. Heaven did not ask them to approve what heaven funded. Heaven did not ask your past to vote on your promise. Heaven did not ask your old room to understand your new assignment. The transfer is not waiting for their permission. Your time to shine has come with responsibility. Walk softly, speak wisely, listen closely, give generously. Protect your peace, keep your spirit clean. And when the evidence appears, remember that it was formed in secret before it was seen in public. Stay close to the source. Stay aligned with the instruction. Stay humble when the door opens. Stay steady when they finally notice. The fruit will speak. The transfer will testify. And your life will become evidence that heaven funded what family could not believe.